Former England winger Marland Yarde recently offered a candid and reflective look into his career and life after rugby during an appearance on the popular podcast The Good, The Bad and The Rugby. Now 33 and officially retired from professional rugby, Yarde leaves behind a career defined by explosive pace, prolific try-scoring, and moments of both triumph and challenge at the highest levels of the game. As he transitions into life beyond the pitch, Yarde has begun to unpack the experiences that shaped him, not just as a player, but as a person. Like many elite athletes, his journey was far from linear. It was marked by growth, setbacks, mental battles, and the influence of key figures who pushed him to evolve. Among those figures, one stands out in a surprising way: former England head coach Eddie Jones. That a misunderstood relationship. Yarde addressed a long-standing perception among fans and pundits, that his relationship with Jones was strained or even toxic. While their interactions were certainly intense and, at times, unconventional, Yarde revealed that the reality was far more nuanced. "I think people feel like me and him had a really bad relationship," Yarde explained during the podcast. "But this guy changed me in a lot of ways." Rather than harboring resentment, Yarde spoke with a sense of appreciation. He acknowledged that Jones played a crucial role in pushing him beyond his comfort zone, even if his methods were not always easy to handle. "I used to play with fear," Yarde admitted. "He knew how to push my buttons. But he was also the coach who gave me my most caps." That duality, pressure paired with belief, became a defining feature of their dynamic. Jones saw potential in Yarde and was determined to extract it, even if it meant using psychological tactics that could seem harsh from the outside. The art of motivation. According to Yarde, Jones possessed a unique understanding of player psychology. He recognized that not all athletes respond to the same type of motivation. Some thrive on encouragement and reassurance, while others perform better when challenged or provoked. "Some players, you can put an arm around," Yarde explained. "Some players he liked to prod." Yarde fell into the latter category. Jones deliberately kept him on edge, maintaining a level of tension that ensured he remained sharp, focused, and driven. While this approach might not work for everyone, it proved effective for Yarde. "He just knew, if he just kept me on coal, that I was always going to be at it," he said. This insight sheds light on Jones' often controversial coaching style. Frequently criticized for being abrasive or overly demanding, Jones has long defended his methods as necessary for achieving elite performance. In Yarde's case, it appears that strategy paid off, beyond rugby. The weird conversations. Interestingly, some of the most memorable aspects of Yarde's relationship with Jones had little to do with rugby at all. He recalled how the coach would engage him in unexpected and often bizarre conversations, both in person and over the phone. "These chats would be about all sorts of weird and wonderful things," Yarde said, laughing. "Sometimes it felt like it had nothing to do with rugby. At first glance, these interactions might seem trivial or even distracting. But in hindsight, Yarde believes they served a purpose. They helped build a connection, ease tension, and create moments of levity within the high-pressure environment of international rugby. I think it was just to have a giggle sometimes," he added. "It was weird, but in some ways, he got the best out of me." These offbeat exchanges highlight a lesser-seen side of Jones, a coach capable of blending intensity with humor, and discipline with unpredictability. The infamous "tired" incident. One of the most talked-about stories involving Yarde and Jones is the so-called "tired" incident, a moment that went viral and became part of rugby folklore. The simplified version suggests that Yarde admitted to being tired upon arriving at England camp and was immediately told to leave for lacking commitment. However, as Yarde revealed, the truth is far more complex. The incident occurred after a physically demanding club match between Bath and Harlequins, in which Yarde faced off against fellow England winger Samisa Rokadugyeni. The game, heavily hyped due to their national team rivalry, kicked off in the evening and ended late. By the time Yarde finished post-match duties and made the journey to England's training base at Pennyhill Park, it was around 10 or 11 p.m. Like many players, he had taken caffeine tablets to stay alert during the game, which made it difficult to sleep afterward. He managed only 2 to 3 hours of rest. Despite the exhaustion, Yarde was summoned for a meeting with Jones at 6 a.m. the next morning. "I've gone in, I've just woken up, my body's sore," Yarde recalled. "He asked me, 'How you feeling, mate?' I said, 'I'm pretty tired.' What followed was immediate and explosive. He goes, "What? You don't want to play for England? Get out." A test of character. At that moment, Yarde found himself at a crossroads. Was this a genuine dismissal, or a test? "I thought it was a test," he said. I just stood there. I couldn't believe what was happening. Jones doubled down, offering him a choice: stay and enjoy the facilities before being sent home, or leave immediately, but Yarde refused to back down. "No, I'm not going anywhere," he responded. "You asked me how I'm feeling. I told you the truth. That doesn't mean I don't want to play for England." What followed was a tense standoff, with both men locking eyes in silence for what felt like an eternity. "It was like a face-off," Yarde said. "I just wouldn't move." In that moment, Yarde demonstrated resilience and conviction, qualities that Jones had been trying to instill in him. The turning point. Eventually, Jones broke the silence. "Go get a kid on," he told Yarde. "Enjoy training." Despite the earlier threat, Yarde was not sent home. In fact, he went on to be selected in the starting lineup for the upcoming match. This outcome confirmed what Yarde had suspected all along: it was a test. "I think he liked that I stood my ground," Yarde reflected. "He was testing me, and I didn't fold." The incident, often portrayed as an example of conflict, was actually a pivotal moment in Yarde's development. It reinforced his self-belief and demonstrated his willingness to fight for his place. Growth through adversity. Looking back, Yarde sees his experiences with Jones as instrumental in shaping his mindset. While the journey was not always comfortable, it forced him to grow in ways that a more conventional approach might not have achieved. "He elevated my game and the importance of everything," Yarde said. This perspective underscores a broader truth about elite sport: success often requires discomfort. The ability to endure pressure, respond to challenges, and maintain focus under scrutiny is what separates good players from great ones. For Yarde, Jones' tough love approach helped unlock that potential. Life after rugby. Now retired, Yarde is embracing a new chapter. While the adrenaline of match day and the camaraderie of the locker room are difficult to replace, he appears at peace with his decision. His reflections on his career suggest a deeper understanding of the game and his place within it. Rather than dwelling on controversies or missed opportunities, he chooses to highlight the lessons learned and the relationships formed. "I spoke to him a couple of years ago," Yarde said of Jones. "It was a normal conversation." That simple statement speaks volumes. Despite their intense history, there is no lingering bitterness, only mutual respect. A legacy redefined. Marland Yarde's career may not have followed a perfectly smooth trajectory, but it was undeniably impactful. From his early days as a promising young winger to his time on the international stage, he consistently demonstrated talent, determination, and a willingness to evolve. His story also serves as a reminder that success in sport is rarely achieved alone. Coaches, teammates, and mentors all play a role in shaping an athlete's journey, sometimes in unexpected ways. In Yarde's case, Eddie Jones was one of those influences. Not in the traditional sense of a supportive, reassuring figure, but as a provocateur, a challenger, and ultimately, a catalyst for growth. Final thoughts. As fans look back on Yarde's career, they may remember the tries, the pace, and the moments of brilliance. But behind those highlights lies a deeper narrative, one of resilience, self-discovery, and transformation. His revelations offer valuable insight into the psychological side of elite rugby, shedding light on the complexities of player-coach relationships and the unconventional methods that can sometimes yield extraordinary results. In the end, Yarde's story is not just about rugby. It's about growth under pressure, the courage to stand your ground, and the ability to find meaning in even the most challenging experiences. And perhaps most importantly, it's about recognizing that sometimes, the people who push us the hardest are the ones who help us become our best selves.